Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine. Today I want to share with you some tips on getting chores done. Today we're going to talk about chores that build versus chores that don't build. This is just terminology I use to describe those chores that if you don't do them one day, you're going to have more chores to do the next day versus chores that if you don't do them one day, you still only have that one chore to do the following day. So let's take laundry and making the bed. If you have, say, a load of laundry to do every day and you don't do it for 1, 2, 3, or 4 days at a time, you're going to have a lot of laundry that piles up by the time you actually do laundry. Versus if you don't make your bed one day, by the end of the week, you only still have one bed to make. So let's talk about those chores, the ones that you have to do often to stay on top of them versus the ones that you can let them go for a while. Now, in all of this advice, I want to say that every family is unique and you will have chores that even though they don't build, you still want to do them daily or more frequently just because that's the way that you like your home. But in doing this, if we have limited time, we can maximize the chores that are going to have the greatest impact on our house being tidy or clean versus the chores that if you spent every day of the week with that 1 hour that you have to do chores, if you're just doing, say, floors and vacuuming and your dishes pile up, that might not be the best use of your time if you have a limited amount of time to do chores. When it comes to doing the dishes, I would prefer to keep on top of it a little bit more so that it doesn't get overwhelming and something that takes too long to do. When my children are doing the dishes, they don't mind doing it one time in the day when they have a block of time to do them. When it comes to other chores that are going to pile up, I find laundry to be one of those really big challenges for many people. In our home, laundry is maintained in a couple of ways. The first is that having less clothes means that you are going to end up doing your laundry more frequently rather than letting it pile up because you have so many choices. The other thing is that when children get older and they're responsible for their space, their room, for instance, and their room gets messy, I've seen that a lot of children might just take everything that's on the floor, clean or dirty laundry, and then just throw it in the laundry. Then if that's someone else who has to do that job, the person who just cleaned up their room by making it someone else's task to do the laundry, to fold the clothes and to put them away, has actually made the task more difficult for one person and easier for themselves. So if you find yourself in that situation, then having children responsible for their own laundry is going to be necessary in order to curb that quick cleanup by passing that chore onto someone else. However, in our family, when we did the laundry, it was one person doing laundry for the whole family, just like it was one person doing dishes for the whole family and one person doing the vacuuming or the trash or etc. for the whole family. There are reasons behind that I share in another video. So if you want to know why we're just having one person do that task, I encourage you to check out that other video. However, things did shift when it became easier for us to keep laundry separate so that it was easier to wash, fold, and put away without getting clothes mixed up and everyone getting the wrong items, or having one person decide that it's easier just to clean up everything by putting everything in the laundry. That minimized it by each person at least being mindful of their own laundry, even if someone else was taking care of it, but that it stayed separate from the rest of the laundry. So that was something that sort of became a habit over time, whereas before it would just be all the laundry together in one space and one person taking care of it. When it came to laundry, some of the things that we found made it more challenging in order to get the task done was if the person responsible for the laundry wasn't very responsible and left the laundry in the wash too long and it had to be washed again. So I noticed that with my children, even into adulthood, remembering to take the laundry out of the wash was always a problem. Usually for me, it's not a problem, but me having to remind my children to take care of that task became a burden on me. So here are some tips on how to manage that. Now, your laundry might already have a timer that goes off, a buzzer that reminds you that your wash is done. And this is a great way to then be reminded, especially if you're home, to go move that laundry into the dryer. For us, I don't like leaving it into the wash for more than like say a half an hour once it's done. Beyond that, it can very quickly start to smell, and it's not a good idea to leave it wet in the wash for very long before you just have to run it again in another cycle. So if your laundry doesn't have a timer or a buzzer to remind you that the laundry is done, then you can set your own timer as a reminder to move your laundry into the dryer. I found that this was the hardest task for my children to stay on top of. So if I was walking by the laundry and I noticed that it was done, I would either move it into the dryer, or I would hang it up, or I would call them to come and take care of it. Now, for about 8 years, we did not use a dryer. We would hang dry our clothes. And then now that we have a dryer again, we will do both. We will hang dry our clothes in the summer, or we will hang dry certain clothes, and then we will also dry some clothes. So if we are hang drying clothes, yes, that takes more time. However, they can stay on the rack longer even if we're doing another load, because then we can hang it up on another rack, or we can put it in the dryer. So it actually prolongs the whole process, but it prevents anyone from just taking clothes out of the dryer and putting them on top of the dryer and then leaving them. For me, laundry isn't complete until clothes have been collected from the house, washed, dried, folded, and put away. So if you've washed and dried 6 loads of laundry, you still have 6 loads of laundry to do, because you still have to fold them and put them away. Now, we can definitely disagree about this, but in my opinion, we've only just left the hard part to last and made it more difficult, because we've made it more overwhelming by having now 6 loads of laundry to fold and put away. So for us, we would never put another load into the dryer unless that load was already folded and on its way to being put away. So on its way to being put away means that it's folded and on top of the laundry and ready to be put away, but we'll go ahead and put that next load into the dryer, because it's a priority to get those clothes out of the wash and into the dryer, or out of the wash and onto our drying racks. When we were only using drying racks, our dryer was not functional. It was actually a little bit easier to cycle through the laundry, ironically, than when we had a dryer. We had about 3 or 4 drying racks, and it was really convenient to leave them on the drying racks until we're ready to put them away, but still continue having another load get washed and dried. And by them being on the drying rack, they never got wrinkled because they didn't sit in the dryer. Once they were dry, just sit in the dryer waiting to get removed. They just stayed on the drying rack, which meant that they didn't get wrinkled. So that actually made it a little bit easier. Ironically, it seems like it would not be easier to wash and dry if you didn't have a dryer. Now, we live in California, we live in the States, where most people have a washer and a dryer, especially a dryer. There are many places that people don't use a dryer and they're always hanging their clothes anyway, and so it's nothing special to not have a dryer and to hang up your clothes. I was just surprised that we actually found it easier in some circumstances to keep the laundry going and to put it away without wrinkles. The next thing is doing the floors and the vacuuming, sweeping, mopping, anything that has to do with the floors that isn't going to pile up. Now, certainly there are some things that would require immediate attention, but for the most part, doing the floors is something that we do not do on a daily basis, and we used to do it more frequently in order to mind allergies and just dust in the air, but we can go a week without doing floors and it's completely fine, and we just have to do it once. Now, granted, I would prefer it done more often, but also if I had to choose between dishes and the floors, the dishes are more pressing, so that's something that we're going to do more often versus the floors. The trash is something else that sort of builds and sort of doesn't. So if you're doing the trash every day, that's going to be effort that you do every day, but chances are you haven't filled up your trash unless it's the kitchen trash, which I highly recommend that you take out on the daily. But the other trash throughout the house probably doesn't need to be taken out as frequently unless you have, like, say, a baby with diapers. Then I could see how that's going to be something that needs more attention. For the most part, taking out the trash once a week on trash day has worked well for our family, except for kitchen trash that needs to be taken out more frequently. I prefer that the trash and recycle get taken out daily just for the smell and for the cleanliness of that space. But that again is something that once the trash is full, then it needs to be taken out. But you're only taking it out once if you're waiting for it to be full. If you're taking it out more frequently, you're doing more work when you can choose that, but you can also wait to just do it once. So if we're trying to optimize on our time, things that don't need to be done as frequently, like the floors or making the bed, can be delayed if you only have limited time and you really need to do the things that are going to be pressing, in my opinion, like laundry or the dishes. One other thing that we do very infrequently is dusting. Also, doing the windows, we do those even less frequently than dusting. One task that I do is organizing, and organizing really can help with chores in the long run. When you can organize and simplify and minimize your things, you can really help with putting toys and projects away, getting chores done, like the dishes, for instance. If you have less things, it's very clear on how to put those things away, especially if it's well organized. If things are really packed and tight, then whoever's doing those chores, yourself included, is just going to find an easier way to get those things put away, even if it's not in the right spot. So making sure that you don't have too many things ensures that when you are putting those things away, you are not struggling to put them away. It's a little bit easier to find a place for all of those things. So good organization is definitely key in getting chores done fast and effective, and having less things is also really going to help out. This can be really challenging at times to purge your things, but I do find that it really helps in the long run with doing chores. So I hope this was helpful in understanding which chores are more pressing to do or going to have a better impact on your time versus the ones that it's okay if you don't do them every day. If you don't make your bed every day, you're still only going to have one bed to make at the end of the week. But if you're one of those people who likes the bed made every day because it makes the room look clean and inviting, then absolutely make sure that you hold on to that habit. Same with your children. If you prefer that they have their beds made every day because it just makes the room look clean, even if they have toys all over the floor, then please hold on to those habits. But just know that if you only do the bed once a week, you will only ever have one bed to make. I hope this was helpful in knowing which chores to prioritize over the ones that you can let go for a little while. Don't forget to check out the blog post that accompanies this video, where you can find more videos in this series as well as other important information. You can find the link to that blog post in the description box below. And if you'd like to see what we're cleaning on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram and now on TikTok at Pepper and Pine.